Hi and welcome to this video where I want to go through tonight's sunsets. I've walked down to a small cove and what I want to do is prove that you can get really good sunsets, both quick and long exposures. So long exposure is anything greater than half a second. I'm in a really small cove just down the coast from one of these small Spanish white towns here on the coast of the Med. We're probably about an hour away from the sun setting. But what we've got is all these rocks in the foreground to add attention. And we've got this rock right in the foreground as well. So what I've got is this really small cove. There was once a coastal path, but it's all eroded away. So nobody really comes down here except for the odd fishermen. So that makes it quite isolated and no real interference on the photographs. So this is my location. When on site, it's actually really vital to look at the details. So my initial composition, I'll just spin you around just slightly. My original composition was thinking with these rocks here in the foreground and then the rocks leading into the distance. But what I've noticed is there are some buildings. Let me just bring this up. There are some buildings right in the distance. What I don't want at sunset is for the lights on those buildings to be on. So I don't want that as a distraction, but then what that made me do was just look around the scene a little bit more. So I've settled on this. I need to be careful because the waves are splashing a little bit. Let me just spin you around again a little bit. But what I've got here is this little dip in the rocks. We've got the leading lines going in of the formation as well. We're going to have some wicked reflections. You can see the water just spilling up now. And then the sun will set right across the top of those rocks. Absolutely fantastic. I've taken a series of test shots both with and without ND filters. I have actually had one of the ones because we're punching straight to the sun at the moment, stacked both an ND10 and an ND64 to give me a massive stop down. So let's take a quick look at these. These are the test exposures, and then we'll get on to what I'm actually going to use for sunset. I think what I'll do to demonstrate the different shutter speeds and the different apertures, but what I really want to do is capture these landscape portraits. I'm going to have to be pretty quick. I'm going to try some fast shutter speeds, and I'm also going to try some long exposures, because I think I'm getting some really nice flattening out of the sea. It's kind of rough, but it's not too rough. The waves are probably 12, 24 inches, kind of 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters maximum probably. So I'm getting some really nice smoothing out. There's also a seagull sitting on a rock that has been sitting there for at least 5 minutes, not moving. Maybe he'll stay there for sunset, who knows. There's also, I've noticed, some plane trails. Now, I'm kind of hoping they go, but you can never plan for plane trails. But one thing I've noticed about the plane trails, they're all like leading lines into the sun. So, amazing. So let me know what you think about those and whether they work in the comments below. Absolutely amazing. There's also a flock of seagulls, absolutely hundreds and hundreds of them on the horizon at the moment. So maybe some of those will be beneficial in the images as well. Let's see if they make it better or detract from the final images. I'm really glad I took all of those test images. It's really important when on location to do some test images before you really, especially at sunset. Sunrise is a little bit more tricky. Check out my video on sunrises after you've finished watching this one. I had a most spectacular sunrise the other day where I did a video on sunrise. So remember to check that one out after this one. And one of the things, whilst I'm sitting here waiting for almost an hour for sunset, is photography is all about this really. It is so peaceful. I'm the only person here in this little cove. I've just got the sound of the waves crashing onto the rocks to my right. Occasionally a wave comes up the rock in front, which is really beautiful. We've got all the seagulls flying around. It's so peaceful. And in a way, this is kind of what landscape photography to me is all about. It's not just about taking images and photographs. It's about getting out here, watching the seagulls fish. I've just seen one dive in the background there. Absolutely amazing. Right, okay. Enough of me waffling about how brilliant landscape photography is. Let's crack on with our planning for sunset. And also now, I found a second one. In all my test shots, I found a second angle. What I've got here, let me just spin you around. We've got the sun setting over the rocks, but I've just moved to the right. We've got this beautiful groove. I need to be a bit more careful because every so often a rogue wave comes and splashes over. So I've just got to make sure that my camera is out of range of any rogue waves. But this gives me a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much quickly dash. Once the sun sets, I'm going to dash between these two locations to get the final set of images that you'll see in the gallery. There's less than 5 minutes before the sun sets now. It's just starting to dip down. There's a few clouds on the horizon. Hopefully they won't obscure. We'll get some nice colours. So right, I'm set up. I'm going to start in this location. I'll dash across to the other location, capture those images both, fast shutter speeds and long exposure, and I'll put those in the galleries. So that was a lovely sunset. The sun's still going down. It's just dipping down now. I'll show you the gallery in a second. Absolutely amazing. So we've got some great shots there. If you found this useful, please remember to like the video and subscribe. Your support is massively appreciated. I've got some fantastic plans for it this year. A lot of on-location stuff. I really do prefer the on-location stuff. I don't want to be sat behind a desk recording these videos. I want to be out in the open and sharing the world with you guys. Enjoy this gallery of the images I've captured. If you've got any questions or any favourites, please let me know in the comments down below. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And until next time, thank you very much for your time in watching this video, and I will see you again very soon.